Assalamu alaikum. My name is Carlos Bilal. I'm here in South Carolina, about to wrap up Black History Month and about to start Ramadan. And with that being said, you know, if you here in Charleston, South Carolina, you know that this city was responsible for 40% of the Africans that was imported and enslaved here in North America. And it still to this day has a big African influence through the food, through the basket weaving, through the language, and many other ways. But it's also said that majority of slaves came from Muslim majority countries, which was Mali, Senegal, and the Gambia. And some came from Ghana. And as you know, there's a stereotype about Black American men adopting Islam in prison. Like Islam never been with Black Americans before Malcolm X converted to Islam. And just to show you that Blacks held on to their religion from the motherland to this new land, that one of these tombstones behind me has a sign of Tawheed. And this whole wall behind me is walls that filled with African and enslaved Blacks, tombstones from that era. Most of these tombstones are dated in the mid or early 18th century. And some of these tombstones have crosses on them. Some of the tombstones have sacred written on them. But this particular tombstone right here has one finger pointing up towards the sky. And if you familiar with that sign, you know that's the sign of Tawheed, which means the oneness of God, which is the opposite of the Trinity. And with that sign of Tawheed, it let you know that he died on his shahada. And from his age, it don't have his age on there, but we know that in 1808, they actually stopped it made it the transatlantic slave trade illegal. But they were still sneaking slaves over, enslaved Blacks, enslaved Africans over in ships, whaling ships, cargo ships, so they could continue making a profit. But the struggle of being Muslim during slavery was very difficult because they wasn't able to practice their religion in public. They had to pray in secrecy. Even during Ramadan, they had to lighten up their work production. And it was a system where other slaves, enslaved Blacks, helped them to practice their religion. Like a buddy may say, oh, go ahead and take a break. I'm gonna go ahead and pick your cotton for you. I'm gonna go ahead and pick your rice for you. Come back when you get your energy up. Or they would rotate. I fast today, you fast tomorrow. For this one, this has Alice Amina. And we know that name Amina is not your typical Black American name. Last name particularly because we took the last names of our slave masters. And Amina was not an American slave name or slave owner's name. So with that being said, we was able to be resilient and come back to with our religion here to hold on to Islam. And we already know that majority of the Muslims that was enslaved in the New World, it was very rebellious. They always caused uprisings, rebellions, to the point where the slave owner said, yo, these guys are too wild, cut them loose, they costing us too much money, they burning down our houses, they burning down our crops, they moving slow, they not producing the crops as fast, or they making the crops rot. And they would try to avoid a lot of these Muslim countries because they know these guys was fighting for the belief of one God and to die and be ready to kill on that.